They say love can build empires. But betrayal? Betrayal can burn them down. What happens when a man throws away the woman who loved him the most, only to watch her return more powerful than he could ever imagine? This is not just a story of heartbreak. It's a story of revenge, destiny, and shattered pride. Stay with me till the end, because the twist will leave you speechless. Emily had always been the kind of woman people overlooked. She didn't wear expensive clothes, didn't live in luxury, and never tried to impress anyone. What she did have, however, was a heart full of loyalty and a spirit that believed in love above everything else. From the very first day she met Daniel, she believed he was her future. She pictured a life where they would start small, work hard together, and build a home filled with laughter and warmth. But Daniel didn't see things that way. He had bigger dreams, dreams painted in gold. For him, success wasn't measured by love or loyalty. It was measured by the car he drove, the house he lived in, and the circles of wealth and influence he could enter. At first, he pretended to appreciate Emily's sacrifices. She worked extra hours at her job just to help him pay rent. She skipped meals so he could save more for his so-called future investments. She believed every word when he said, "One day we'll look back and laugh at these struggles." But behind Daniel's charming smile was a restless hunger. He couldn't ignore the whispers around him. His friends mocked him for dating someone ordinary. They told him he could do better, that he deserved a woman who could open doors to wealth and opportunity. Slowly, Daniel began to believe them. And so, when Catherine entered the picture, everything changed. Catherine wasn't more beautiful than Emily, but she was rich, polished, and well-connected. To Daniel, she represented a shortcut to the life he craved. One evening, without hesitation, Daniel told Emily the truth. He said she wasn't enough for him, that she was too plain, too poor, too ordinary to stand by his side. And with those words, he left her. Emily's heart broke into pieces. She didn't just lose Daniel. She lost the life she thought they were building together. Neighbors whispered behind her back. Friends pitied her. And in the quiet of her room, she cried until her soul went numb. What she didn't know was that life had already written a twist she could never have imagined. After Daniel's betrayal, Emily disappeared from his world. She stopped going to the places they once visited, stopped speaking to mutual friends, and cut off all connections. People assumed she was broken forever, a forgotten woman living in the shadows. But while Emily's heart was scarred, her spirit refused to die. Months later, a letter arrived that would change her life. Her distant uncle, a wealthy businessman she barely knew, had passed away. With no children of his own, he left his entire fortune to Emily. Overnight, the same woman who once couldn't afford a new dress was thrust into a life of unimaginable wealth. But here's the remarkable part. Emily didn't let money blind her. She didn't rush to flaunt her new lifestyle. Instead, she treated it like an opportunity. She studied business, hired mentors, and learned how to grow what she had inherited. Slowly, she transformed from a quiet, timid girl into a confident, strategic woman who could command respect in boardrooms and social circles alike. Still, deep in her heart, she carried the memory of her humiliation. The night Daniel told her she was not enough replayed in her mind like an echo. And that memory fueled her. Not to seek revenge, but to rise so high that her existence itself became the answer. Years passed, and Emily blossomed into the woman no one believed she could be. She became a name people whispered with admiration. She became the guest everyone wanted at their events. And yet she stayed graceful, never forgetting where she came from. Meanwhile, Daniel's life was not as perfect as he imagined. His marriage to Catherine was not built on love, but convenience. Money gave him the comfort he thought he wanted, but it also chained him to a world where he never truly belonged. He began to realize that Catherine's wealth wasn't his. It was hers. And slowly his pride began to crack. But he had no idea that destiny was preparing to bring Emily back into his world, not as the woman he left behind, but as someone far beyond his reach. It happened on a night that would be remembered forever. A grand charity gala, the kind where the city's wealthiest gathered to flaunt their power. Daniel arrived with Catherine, dressed in his finest suit, trying to hold on to the illusion that he belonged among the elite. He laughed a little too loudly, shook hands a little too eagerly, hoping no one noticed the cracks in his confidence. And then she arrived. Emily stepped out of a sleek black car, her presence commanding attention the moment her heels touched the marble floor. The room seemed to pause as she entered, her elegance undeniable, her confidence radiant. She didn't just look like wealth. She looked like power. Her eyes, once soft with love, now carried a calm strength. Daniel's breath caught in his throat. For a moment, he couldn't believe it was her. The girl he once dismissed as ordinary was now extraordinary in every possible way. People rushed to greet her, pulling her into conversations, treating her like royalty. Catherine's smile faltered as she noticed the shift. Suddenly, she wasn't the woman people admired most in the room. Daniel tried to approach Emily, his heart pounding, his pride trembling. But when he finally stood before her, she didn't falter. She looked at him with the same polite distance one might offer a stranger. "Daniel," she said, her voice calm and steady. "It's been a long time." Her words carried no anger, no bitterness, only a quiet dignity that cut deeper than any insult. And in that moment, Daniel realized the cruelest truth of all. He was nothing more than a shadow in the story of her life. The same woman he once left behind had returned not to beg, not to prove herself, but simply to live in the brilliance of the life he could never touch. From that night onward, Daniel's pride was shattered. Everywhere he went, he heard Emily's name. She was celebrated as a visionary, admired for her elegance and respected for her power. And each time, Daniel felt the sting of regret. At home, Catherine noticed the change in him. His confidence was gone, replaced by silence and frustration. He no longer looked at her with admiration, because deep down he knew he had traded true love for a hollow promise. And now, the woman he betrayed was everything he ever wanted, and more. Daniel tried to reach out to Emily, but she never entertained the thought. She didn't need to. Her life was complete without him. She didn't need revenge, because success itself was the sweetest form of justice. For Daniel, the realization was unbearable. He had betrayed the one woman who truly loved him. He had chosen temporary wealth over lasting loyalty. And now, not only had he lost her, he had lost himself. Emily, on the other hand, walked away from it all with grace. She didn't waste her time looking back. She knew her worth now, and nothing, not even Daniel's regret, could shake her. And that's how Daniel learned the harshest truth. You can betray love for wealth, but one day, true worth comes back to haunt you. So, what do you think hurts more? Losing someone you love, or watching them return greater than you ever imagined, knowing you'll never be part of their story again? Emily's tale reminds us of one simple truth. Never underestimate the heart you break. Because one day, it might return as the empire you can never conquer.